New York City Mayor Eric Adams is facing 5 federal charges. His indictment was unsealed this morning, adding to his administration's turmoil. Spectrum News anchor Robert Guadarrama joins me. And Robert, the mayor is accused of taking money from Turkey. Is that correct?
Josh, that is right. And this allegedly all began back in 2014. The mayor is accused of soliciting and taking illegal campaign contributions from wealthy foreign business people and at least one Turkish government official seeking to gain influence over him, which the Turkish official later cashed in on. The indictment out of the Southern District of New York is a result of a year-long investigation. The 5 counts include bribery, accepting illegal campaign contributions from foreign sources, and wire fraud. Adams is accused of continuing the actions for his re-election campaign in 2021. The wire fraud count is in relation to the donations coming from straw contributions, which are concealed contributions made to appear they're coming from American donors, but are really coming from illegal sources. The indictment also lays out the mayor benefited from luxury travel and other gifts and failed to disclose those. The conspiracy count referring to the concealing of the campaign contributions and the wire fraud. And lastly, the bribery count involves the cashing in of the donations in which the Turkish official pressured Adams to facilitate the opening of a new Turkish consular building in New York City without a fire inspection ahead of the visit from the Turkish president. The indictment indicates the building would not have passed the fire inspection. Adams complied, according to prosecutors. And Josh, the mayor is the first sitting mayor of New York City to face criminal charges.
Wow, a lot there.
Hello villagers, welcome back to another video here in Stacy's Random POV. It's so good to see you, and before I start, I have to say that everything I'm about to say in this video is exclusively and strictly my opinion and my opinion alone, and I'm not speaking to anybody, and I am not trying to incite the public. Now, with that being said, you guys, we have to talk about this whole situation with Mayor Adam West. But in all seriousness, you guys, Mayor Eric Adams just got indicted. He's adamant about his innocence. Honestly, I feel like ever since Cat Williams said this,
deviance is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
and honestly, you guys, ever since Cat Williams said this in the beginning of this year, I felt such a veil being lifted from everyone in this planet, which lead us to what's going on right now, which honestly, to me, it feels very unfortunate because we all know that he's not the first politician, nor will he be the last, who's known to do these very same things that Eric Adams has been accused of. But because he doesn't have the complexion for protection and he's only tolerated, not celebrated, he's gonna have to pay for this. And in the process, they are going to pretend to be fixing corruption in this city, when in reality, they're not. And if you think they are, you might want to talk with your God and then rethink that position. And like always, the ones who have to pay for this is the citizens, the tax-paying citizens, the everyday folks who make this city what it is. And I don't want to speak too much about this for 2 reasons. 1, I don't want to sound redundant. And 2, I don't want to sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist. But there is a conspiracy in this. There is a huge conspiracy. I cannot tell you what it is because, again, I don't want to incite the public. But once you guys figure it out, don't hesitate to come back to my comments and let me know. I cannot wait to see what you guys think is the conspiracy in this entire mess. Well, I have the 57 pages indictment for Mayor Eric Adams, and I'm going to make a separate video about the indictment specifically. And let's not even mention all of the raccoon stuff that Eric Adams has done throughout his entire professional career. It was okay for the NYPD to go shoot at a crowded train just for $2.90 on a man that turns out wasn't even branding any type of weapon. So yes, that story was completely debunked, that the officer said that he had a knife. But with that being said, you guys already know how I do things here. I've got together some awesome videos for you guys to enjoy. And stick around. I'm going to have more commentary to say as the video progresses. And don't forget that once you subscribe, you'll automatically become a member of this village. Let's get it.
Today we are announcing campaign finance, bribery, and conspiracy charges against Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City. As the indictment alleges, Mayor Adams engaged in a long-running conspiracy in which he solicited and knowingly accepted illegal campaign contributions from foreign donors and corporations. As we allege, Mayor Adams took these contributions even though he knew they were illegal, and even though he knew these contributions were attempts by a Turkish government official and Turkish businessmen to buy influence with him. We also allege that the mayor sought and accepted well over $100,000 in luxury travel benefits from some of the same foreign actors who arranged many of the illegal campaign contributions. These benefits
The dirty mayor was singing money, 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 money while getting out of his private jet.
Benefits included free international business class flights and opulent hotel rooms in foreign cities. The mayor had a duty to disclose these gifts on his annual public disclosure forms so that the public could see who was giving him what. But as we allege, year after year after year, he kept the public in the dark. He told the public he received no gifts, even though he was secretly being showered with them. We allege that Adams accepted these benefits knowing that they were given to him because of his position. And in exchange for some of those improper benefits, he intervened in the New York City Fire Department's inspection process for a building owned and operated by the Turkish government, allowing it to open even though it had not passed the fire inspection. The corruption alleged in the indictment is, as I said, long-running.
So nasty, so dirty, so bad.
Well, moving up to, here comes the mayor. Here comes Mayor Eric Adams. He's about to make a public statement, folks. Let's bring it to you right now.
This is not a black thing. This is a youth thing. This is a youth thing, Eric Adams. This is not a black thing. Your policies are anti-black. You are disgrace to all black people in this city.
Is that chuckling for me, child? Is it? Just like a politician.
The things that you have done are unconscionable. You hurt our schools. Our streets are dirty. Our children are harassed by the police. This is ridiculous.
That crowd outside of Gracie's mansion were not letting him talk. They were just letting him have it through and through.
Ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You can shush me all you want, but the people are with us. And this is not a black thing. This is a justice thing.
Why is it that every time a black man is in trouble, he surrounds himself with black people, but when he's up, he's around white?
First of all, I want to thank you for being here this morning, and I want to thank the supporters of all ethnic groups.
Don't y'all worry, I got y'all. The rest of his speech is right here.
We are not surprised. We expected this. This is not surprising to us at all. The actions that have unfolded over the last 10 months, the leaks, the commentary, the demonizing, this did not surprise us that we reached this day. And I ask New Yorkers to wait to hear our defense before making any judgments. From here, my attorneys will take care of the case so I can take care of the city. My day-to-day will not change.
Sometimes when I listen to a politician speak, I just be wondering, what be going on in their head? Do he really think he's the superhero in this scenario?
Not change. I will continue to do the job for 8.3 million New Yorkers that I was elected to do. And I look forward to defending myself and defending the people of this city, as I've done throughout my entire professional career.
I rest my case. Maybe he is the superhero. And to make matters worse, he brings in his mom.
Let him have his day in court, Amen. And then we can make our decisions. Amen. But we are not here today to criticize the federal government where you might be bashash.
And it's a fair assessment to say that black mothers will go to hell and back for their son. But this was a very interesting press conference, to say the least.
That's all you do. That's all you brought here to criticize. Yeah. We are going to be here. We're going to be here.
I'm sorry, Mother Dude. Hey, brother, this is a 92-year-old elder. Show us some respect. A 92-year-old elder.
She stands next to you. She stands next to Paulo. As the NAACP, as the number one C3, you should not be standing for a political candidate. Stop that. You're always in
And this is literally what breaks my heart from this entire press conference, because Eric Adams knew that people were pissed at him and he still brought his mom.
We are calling on all New Yorkers to listen carefully, not to the loudmouths, but listen to facts and figures. His lawyers will go and do our work for us, and we will stand with this mayor. Right.
We want to now.
The next video is mute for copyright. So Eric Adams defrauded New York City out of $10 million in public funds, but tried to take away library fundings. That's what he says. Just greedy, just sick.
Eric Adams is definitely being targeted by the Biden administration for speaking out about the illegal immigration situation that is going on in New York City. Let's break all of this down here. Now, remember, it was either earlier this year or maybe late last year when Eric Adams said that he is getting no help from the Biden administration with this illegal immigrant situation, because now the illegal immigrants that have been basically crossing this border ever since the Biden administration took power and eliminated everything that Trump was doing at the border. We have gotten literally, I think they said, millions of illegal immigrants have come into this country, and now they're being bused.
Now, what he's saying is completely correct. I do recognize that Mayor Adams was having a hard time with help facilitating and placing these illegal immigrants. However, two things can be right at once. It could be that they're trying to punish him for speaking out against the Biden administration, or it could be that he is dirty and that he only thinks about himself. Two things can be right at the same time. I'm not going to play this entire video in its entirety. If you guys want to check it out, go on TikTok and search up his name. His name is right on my video, so pause it, zoom in, you got it.
The mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, is facing criminal charges. He's denying any wrongdoing, but what's it all about? Adams is accused of accepting illegal gifts worth over $100,000 from Turkish citizens and at least one government official. Prosecutors say he accepted gifts, including luxury travel, like airline upgrades and hotel stays, in exchange for favors for Turkish officials. He's also accused of defrauding taxpayers out of $10 million in public funds. The alleged corruption scheme spanned a decade, according to prosecutors. Adams could face a lengthy prison sentence for the charges, but he's refusing to step down and vowing to fight the allegations in court.
I mean, the man said he's not stepping down until...
We got to talk about New York City Mayor Eric Adams. He is the first sitting mayor of this city to be indicted. Federal prosecutors are accusing him of conspiracy, of fraud, of bribery, of taking illegal campaign donations, essentially of stealing from New York City taxpayers. Mayor Adams says all of this is not true. He's going to fight it, that he will not resign, but still it's pretty bad. And the governor of this state does have the authority to remove him. The question is, does she want to, or does she need to? How much political pressure will there be on her to do so? It's complicated, but if this becomes a national story, and it could hurt Democrats' chances in the House. Remember, New York State, outside of New York City, in Westchester and Long Island and the northern parts of this state, they were the ones that gave control of the House to Republicans. And as Republicans campaign again, are they going to use Mayor Adams to say the Democratic Party can't be trusted? Will it become a political headache?
Like I said in the beginning of this video, he will be used as an example just because they want to usher in a new system.
Headache that could lose Democrats power in Washington. What will happen then, and what will Kathy Hochul do? Listen.
Good morning. Good morning. So we finally have the charges that Eric Adams will be facing, as the indictment was unsealed this morning. So as far as we know, he will be facing 5 charges, which includes 2 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of solicitation of a contribution from a foreign national, and then 1 count of bribery. And child, it's not looking too good for him right now. Most likely he will be in MDC, Brooklyn, the same correctional facility that Diddy is in right now, that's where most people go in New York City if they're facing federal charges. So
to be fair, the mayor has not been arrested yet, so let's not jump the gun just yet.
So, hey, he might be, he might run into Diddy. They might become best friends. Who knows? But yeah, y'all, so he is facing 5 charges, and he is the first mayor of New York City to face federal charges and actually to commit a crime, so.
Can we please talk about how random it is that the country that Eric Adams got embroiled in a corruption scandal with was Turkey? First of all, New York doesn't even have like a significant Turkish population like that. Like, we're not Berlin. If there were a significant amount of Turkish people in New York, it would be easier to find a fucking donor, but it's not. But beyond that...
Exactly. Out of millions of people in the city, there's hardly any Turkish people. There's a conspiracy, something funny going on.
Turkey itself, it's just such a random choice. Like, it feels like Eric Adams just spun a globe, closed his eyes, and like pointed, right? Or maybe he just like has a thing for Adana kebab and really enjoys visiting Istanbul, which, like, fair enough. I like both those things too. But it's just like, I have so many questions. Like, what interest does Turkey have in us?
It could be a plethora of things, but one thing is not a coincidence. It's not.
I'm about to ask my Turkish friends if this is news in Turkey and if they are receiving it with as much confusion as I am. Just because, like, I don't know. There's so many countries that it would have made more sense for Eric Adams to have done corruption with. And Turkey is like very, very low on that list for me. Any insight would be appreciated. I want to understand.
See, they done finally indicted Mayor Eric Adams of New York City. Now, I don't know who asked him to give Diddy the key to the city. But one thing about those Democrats, when they done playing with you, they always break their tools.
Yes. Say it louder for the people in the back, please.
We've known for some time that they intended to
Child, this whole picture right here just made me... Who's Uncle... Oh my God. Why? Just... Oh.
Not to bring a case against the mayor one way or another. We've had a chance now to look at the indictment. We watched their little press conference. You know, and you can almost picture them trying to cobble this together and try to tell a story so that they can say corruption at this press conference. And they do that to tarnish him in your eyes. That's why they're doing it. But when you actually look at this, if you just take a second and step back and look at this, look at the flights. That's what they want to talk about. The travel, the expenses. The flight they talk about, that free flight, is in 2017. 7 years ago, 5 years before he's the mayor. There's nothing improper, illegal, or wrong about that. But they don't want you to look at that too long. So they go over to their board, and they showed you that chart. They have the columns of the places and the costs and the places and the costs. But you know what they didn't really explain to all of you? Those were upgrades. Those were upgrades on airlines with open seats. That's what airlines do. They do it every day. They do it for VIPs. They do it for Congress people. They're empty seats. It costs the airlines nothing. That's what airlines do. And so that's what they want to talk about because they want to tarnish him. They want to tarnish him in your eyes. So they shift to the campaign contributions. And I don't know if you noticed, but they don't have Eric Adams doing anything. He's not taking in the money. There's no email or text message in the indictment that has him doing anything, taking in any money. What they say is that some staffer says sometime later that he knew that some of the money was foreign money. That's the case.
It's just how he's standing there like a kid letting his dad talk.
So it looks like the country of Turkey could be the downfall of Eric Adams.
No, not just Turkey. His greed, his selfishness.
In 90 seconds, I'll explain the corruption crisis collapsing the New York City government. The federal charges against the mayor were unsealed minutes ago, and they go back a decade. They include things like bribery, taking over 100,000.
I actually know city officials who says that Eric Adams is very dirty and that they even worked with him 20 years ago.
$100,000 in luxury travel from foreign governments and businessmen, as well as funneling illegal foreign donor money into his campaign and giving favors to the Turkish government and Turkish businessmen. This guy took free first-class tickets to go to Turkey, where they put him up in luxury hotels. The only thing they didn't give him was a free hair transplant. You know what he did on these illegal trips? Solicit illegal campaign donations. Imagine taking illegal trips to get more illegal money. He accepted over $10 million in illegal contributions, then used it to steal millions of taxpayer dollars through public matching funds. That's your money. The truth
is that greed I was talking about. So it's not just Turkey, it's his own pride that's gonna.
The truth is that the indictment is 60 pages long. There's no way I can walk you through all of these charges in just a few minutes. But we've been following the story for a year. The mayor's lawyer resigned in the middle of the night last week. Looks bad. I'll keep you posted.
Just a disaster here in New York City.
Well, this is some breaking news. New York City Mayor Eric Adams was just indicted on federal criminal charges. Recently, over the last 2 years, they've raided the homes of some of his top fundraisers, his staffers, they've taken electronics. The FBI recently stepped into his vehicle and seized his cell phone.
And that is so true. Let's not forget, a couple of months ago, there were a plethora of government employees resigning, getting fired, just removing themselves from position because they themselves knew they were incriminated in this entire money laundering mess that Eric Adams was doing. And in all actuality, it makes the city even look worse. So now the city is completely scrambling, looking to replace those said dirty people. But it's just sad, because like always, we the ones that have to pay for this. And if you guys want to see the rest of this guy's video, please don't hesitate. Go to YouTube, go to TikTok. If you don't have one, open up your own TikTok account and go bananas, go to town. They're very cool people, and you will not be disappointed. This was a very, very, very great video, in depth, and it gives so much details about the mayor's relationship with Diddy, with Biden, and how we got to where we are today, which is just completely and so sickening, because it seems to me like all of these people know each other and they just eat each other's asses and suck each other off. Like, honestly, it seems to me like a big popularity party, and it's sad.
Of course he's indicted. Of course Eric Adams is indicted. He's hanging out with French Montana. No one just hangs out with French Montana. Every time French Montana is related to anybody, what happens? They go under. French Montana did one song with Drake. Look at Drake now. French Montana looked like he woke up from the worst freak off with Diddy. And Diddy was like, happy birthday, French. And it was weird. It was weird. If French Montana is in your inner circle is about to be in a jail cell. Like, genuinely, someone check on French. I don't care about...
Now, he didn't have to do French Montana like that. He's trying. But R.I.P. to Shinks, because he was also in French Montana's camp. Yeah, and he's not with us anymore. He might be onto something. I
don't care about Eric Adams. Eric Adams can go. He has done a terrible job with the NYPD. He has done a terrible job as mayor. He has made the case for racists as to why black people shouldn't get things. All right? But French Montana in your friend group is not a good sign. All right? The second I saw him celebrating his mayoral win with the one, the only French Montana, Monsieur Montana, I was like, he's done. I'm so glad to hear he's indicted. I'm so happy.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm livid for these reactions. I love it.
So I've been trying to tell people that just because Eric Adams is black doesn't mean he gives a shit about you.
Now, let's be fair. The same thing can be said by every multi-millionaire black person, NBA player, NFL player, anyone that's succeeding in their career.
He cares about rich people and cops. And let this be an example of that.
I agree, but I also added more sauce.
We've already known that Eric Adams was a crook. It was only a matter of time before the Southern District of New York finally put the pieces together. And shout out to ABC7 as well as the New York Times, because they put this story together for us about Mayor Eric Adams out of New York City, who was just recently indicted on 5 counts, including bribery, wire fraud, and conspiracy. Now, Damian Williams, not seen here, from the Southern District of New York, had accused Eric Adams of accepting over $100,000 in luxury travel benefits. Now, the story goes...
And let me say, shout out to this woman, because I do enjoy a girlie who has her T's crossed and her I's dotted, and this woman is exactly one of them. Please, if you do have a TikTok, don't hesitate and give her a shout out. Check out her videos. She always have her stuff together. She's a beautiful, smart black woman. I can't wait to see y'all in her comments. And check out the rest of her video there as well, because he has so many details about the indictment. But I don't want to let the whole thing play here, because like I said, I have the copy of the indictment myself. In my next video, I will be recording myself reading it, so y'all can enjoy it with me, because baby, it's some good tea on that indictment. It goes back all the way to 2010, I believe. It goes back all the way to 2010. It's insane.
What a great day for New York. If you know, you know. One of our least favorite mayors, Mayor Eric Adams of New York, is making history. He is the first sitting New York mayor to ever face criminal charges while in office. Unfortunately, the charges are currently sealed. But I have to say, with his complexion, his undertones, that aren't just going to look great on him. He's such a proponent of law and order. He's such a proponent of our jails are safe. I am curious to see how he feels about them behind bars.
Now, what you gotta do him like that? Why she gotta bring... He say, since you say that the jails is good, I hope you enjoy. Mwah.
Please send thoughts and prayers, since that clearly seems to be the only thing that our elected officials are experts in.
The New York swag, the sarcasm, I love it.
Eric Adams is proof that those at the top, the establishment, will always vilify the working class.
This right here, what this woman is about to say is so real. Check this out, guys.
For taking pennies, while the establishment itself is actively robbing the people and getting away with it. He was actively making excuses for cops pew-pewing 4 people for over $2.90, all the while he was doing what he was doing and screaming law and order. And 2, it shows that it doesn't matter how much you cozy up to the establishment. It doesn't matter how much you pucker your lips up to kiss the booty of the establishment. If you don't traditionally represent those that have benefited from the system, you will always be used as an example. The headline that I keep paying attention to is him being the first sitting NYC mayor to be indicted on criminal charges. But I highly doubt that he's the first to commit crimes while in office. They just chose him to make an example of. And I'm not trying to sound conspiratorial. I just find it interesting that in the history of New York, he's the first sitting mayor to be indicted on criminal charges. I just find that very, very interesting.
Interesting indeed, sis.
Fight! Housing is a human right. Fight! Housing is a human right. Fight! Housing is a human right. Fight! Housing is a human right.
See what I mean? He'd rather do stuff for the rich.
It looks like the conspiracy girlies missed this one.
Let me be honest, I had no idea what he was talking about, but I will explain that in the video when I talk about the indictment. But everything that he's saying is kind of spot on. I would really like to talk to this creator myself. I have been sending him messages in TikTok. I haven't responded, but I'll keep trying.
It looks like the woke people missed this one. It looks like the hoteps missed this one. And thank God I'm here, because I'm the only one with the proper journalistic expertise to really break down what's going on with Eric Adams. Eric Adams introduced New Yorkers to advanced technology like the dumpster, and they immediately assumed he must have acquired it through nefarious connections with the nations of the Orient and indicted him for it. Shout outs to you, Bill McKay, because you're the only one who gets it. This is way deeper than y'all think it is. There are 2 main religions in the city of New York. You have the people who worship the pigeon, and you have people who worship the rat. Mayor Eric Adams is a follower of the faith of the pigeon. What do we know about rats? They like to scurry around, and you usually find them in train stations or by giant piles of garbage. When Eric Adams implements his dumpster policy and people have to put their garbage in trash cans rather than just toss them out on the street, what do you think that's going to do to the rats? It's going to starve them out. Mayor Eric Adams, like many followers of the faith of the pigeon, hate the rat religion and they want to stamp them out completely. I'm sure you've all heard of the plans to put this giant pigeon statue at the High Line. This isn't just some random statue, it's a religious tribute. Have you heard of any plans to build a rat tribute around New York? No.
Thank you so much for everyone who stick to this point of this video. If you did, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button, because once you do, you automatically become a member of this village. And if you are interested on these creators, their names are always at the end of each video. Okay, their names are at the end. So with that being said, I appreciate to all of my villagers already. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here with me. You guys know that I'm learning how to edit and how to do this thing, but I'll see you next time. Bye.